Hello there, hi, it's Christian. I just wanted to show you a quick video. I say quick, it'll probably be about 10 minutes, just outlining my new Ableton template. There is one available for download on my blog, but it's quite a basic template. It's got metronome automation, it's got all the columns that you need, the right outputs that you need. But I wanted to show you what you could do if you just started playing with it and started having fun. So if I open up my template here, you'll see that it's got a lot more columns now than ever before, and a lot more things going on. So I'll talk you through what this template's doing, and then I'll run some individual clicks, etc., to give you an idea of what's happening. At the moment, everything's routed, just come out of 2 speakers, but the nice thing about this template is you can route anything anywhere that you want to, depending on your audio interface. So what I've got going on is, firstly, a blank column, which is just containing blank MIDI data, which is just holding the name of the track, so the title of the track is here. Next is a column that says loops, brackets comp for complete, and our old way of doing loops is we would master one WAV file or a series of WAV files where all the instruments were mixed into that one loop file. So this aftermath file, for example, it says in D, has got all the sounds that we use in the loop for aftermath, and they're all in that one file. And if we go down to All I Need Is You, again, the same thing's happening. All the sounds for All I Need Is You for the verse are in that one verse file. All the ones for the chorus are in the chorus file. And then we trigger them off individually. And this is the way we were doing loops pretty much for every song. A couple of things. I wanted to... sorry, let me carry on, and then I'll go back and tell you why. Then we've got samples, which are things like the Black Eyed Peas version or Happy Day or Fix You, or some of the string sounds that we're using that we're sampling and running as well as. Then these are the new ones, from beats through to vocals. So we've got beats, pads, piano, bass, lead guitar, guitar 2, quiet and vocal. What I wanted to do was have the flexibility to route those different instruments to different channels on the sound desk so we could mix them live, but also have the facility to turn them off and set my arrangement based on the day. What I was doing is I was taking a track and then having to write out several different WAV files. So I was writing out a version with both guitars, lead and rhythm, without both guitars, with just one of the guitars, with and without bass, with and without piano, with and without vocals or choirs, all that kind of thing. So we had a version of the song for every possible arrangement we might find ourselves in. We've got a lot of great musicians, but not all of them are available every week. It was becoming quite time consuming, but also a bit complicated and making the template look messy. So what I've now started to do is take that arrangement, load it in Reason or in Ableton, break it down into different sections, so intro, verse 1, chorus 1, whatever it might be, but then write out that section for each different instrument. So the initial time is maybe a little bit longer, but once you get going it happens quite quickly, and then it will give me lots of WAV files which I can then load into my template. I'll show you that in just a second. The next column is where my ambient loop sounds are created and stored. So here, if I wanted to trigger off just an ambient pad in A, I can click that one, and this little volume control is mapped to a foot controller on my pedal board for me to fade that in. We also use that underneath some of the songs, so that when we get to the end of the song I can just fade up an ambient pad sound if we haven't got keys there to do that. The next one is cue tracks. This is usually one continuous MP3 or WAV file that talks us through the song arrangement. So it will say verse 3, 2, 1, and we'll just route it into our ears to keep us all exactly in the right place. Director is a new column, which I'll show you in a moment. It does similar to cue tracks, but allows me to control it on the fly. Alternative click for the odd songs where we use a different click sound. This one, click, is the automation. So for example, if I trigger off All Glory here, you'll hear the click coming straight away.
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
But if I wanted just an ambient pad, and I trigger that, I don't want the click, because that could be at any time. So this click automation just basically sends a MIDI note to the metronome to turn it on or off. The next column, video, is MIDIs, which are MIDI notes which are sent over Wi-Fi, which control our video screen at the back to trigger off lyric videos in time with the loop. There's a whole post about that one, go and have a look. And likewise, there's a whole post about chords and the way that we use Ableton to turn the pages of our chord charts. But what I want to show you today is all summed up in these columns here and the director column. So let me take a new song that we did on Sunday called Holy by Matt Redman off the 10,000 Reasons album to give you an example. So normally what I would have done is I would have written out Holy as maybe one long WAV file, or maybe a series of WAV files for the sections, and it would have all of the instruments mixed into one, and then I'd write it out again with the different combinations that we might find ourselves, so with or without bass, with or without guitar, etc. Now what I've done is I've taken Holy, I've set the markers in, this time in Ableton, around the intro, and I wrote out a WAV file for intro choir, intro guitar 2, intro guitar 1, intro bass, piano, and so on. And then when I trigger off this main one over here, which is master channel, which is set to my foot controller, it triggers off all of those files to run at the same time. It also triggers off for a cue track, which will talk us through the entire arrangement. And then what we've done is we've set some automation. So if I click into here and highlight all of those, down here we set follow 9 bars, and then after the 9th bar move down to the next one. So if I trigger that off, you'll see what's happening. Well, let me turn the cue tracks up and trigger that again so you can hear that counting.
1,
there we go.
2, 3, 4.
Turn ambient down. So it's just the lead guitar playing the intro, but if we had a lead guitar playing, I could actually mute that and turn that whole channel off and you wouldn't hear that. And then the piano would come in now, I think. There we go. But again, if I had piano but didn't have lead guitar, I could reverse that just by selecting which instrument's playing and which instrument's not playing.
Verse.
And you'll see that they've all just moved down to the next line because it played 9 bars, and then this time we've set it to play 16 bars, and after 16 bars move down to chorus 1, and so on. And all the time this cue track is going to talk us through the arrangement. So here she's going to tell us to repeat the verse. We'll just let it say that.
Repeat verse.
And then the cello comes in. Now the cello is actually here, it's on the pads channel because that's where I've grouped all the strings and pad sounds together. So you can hear, you can turn the metronome off, you can hear that coming in. I can put the piano back in if I wanted to. Bit of lead guitar building, just hear it in the background.
Chorus.
And then the chorus. And you can see it's just going to keep moving down through this arrangement as we go. I'll stop it there. So that's great. That's basically taken what we had before, where we could trigger off one button and it would play the entire loop from start to finish. But now it's given us the flexibility of being able to arrange the song as far as the instruments that we want for that particular Sunday. And also, if we wanted to, route them to different channels. So I could, for example, route all of the pianos on output number 3. And then send output number 3 to a particular channel on the mixing desk so they can actually control the volume of the piano throughout the Sunday morning. I could take the lead guitar and send the lead guitar out on a different channel, and I could even plug the bass in to what would usually be the DI for our bass player if our bass player's not in, and it would stay on the bass channel on the sound desk. So it gives us quite a lot of control. Now the reason for splitting into different sections means that once I get to the end of the bridge, if I wanted to go back and do the bridge again, I could hit the bridge button and it would do so. Now one of the problems with doing that previously was this little thing here, the cue track. The cue track was set as a set arrangement for the arrangement which we would usually do. And if we went off pace, it would be difficult because I wouldn't be able to communicate to the rest of the band where we were going easily. And also, because of some of the loops don't have that much instrumentation in them, you want to make sure that you're banging the right place for the loop. So cue tracks have been brilliant. Enter the new column we've got here called Director. Director is a series of WAV files which we've downloaded from a couple of the Loop websites. These are actually from Loop Community, and we've been able to import these, and they literally will just trigger off and say
1.
There we go. I don't know if you heard that. Let me just mute just that one channel. Well, let me solo that channel. Sorry.
Verse.
There we go. So he's just saying just verse. Now, what we've done with these is we've changed the way that these trigger. So all of my Ableton template previously has triggered on the first beat of the bar. So when I press any of these master controllers, it would wait till the next one before it triggered. Now the director column is different. We actually set these to trigger almost straight away, 132. So we've got that there, ready to go. So then almost the minute I hit the button, or the second I hit the button, you'll hear verse, and the rest of the line will follow on the next first beat of the bar. We changed the launch mode to toggle to make sure that it didn't loop or it didn't continue going. So if we set the arrangement off as normal,
2, 3, 4.
You'll hear the female voice coming through, and she'll talk us through in our ears through the arrangement. Now let's say I want to jump to bridge. The minute I hit the bridge controller, or with my mouse, click here in this instance, you'll hear bridge, and then on the next one, the whole loop for bridge will come in. So let's try that.
Bridge.
Okay, let's say we want to go to chorus.
Chorus.
And on the 1, and now I'm going to go to verse. On the 1, and so on. Now, let me give you another example of that. We also did this one for Our God is Greater. So let's hit the intro for Our God is Greater. Okay, let's say we want to go to the chorus.
Chorus.
And then I'm going to go turn around.
Turn around.
Or verse.
Verse.
Or another chorus.
Chorus.
And so on. I can move around endlessly between any of those arrangements just by hitting them. And the beautiful thing is it puts a director cue straight into our ear, and then the rest of the loop follows. So I started doing this, I started breaking them down. There's Save the World here. Again, we can do it
1,
Save the World.
2, 3, 4.
And if I had a bass player for that morning, I can take bass out. And if I've got the guitars, I can take the guitars out.
Verse. 2.
But then I've also got the option
4.
of jumping around wherever I wanted to.
Chorus.
Or if I don't need the vocals, I can take the vocals out. And let's go to the bridge.
Bridge.
And I can hit that anywhere I like and have the vocal cue come in straight away, and then the rest of it will follow on the 1. So
Bridge.
let's go chorus.
Chorus.
On the 1. And so on. So it just goes to show the kind of thing that you can do with Ableton and these templates if you just play around with them. So we've got lots of columns going on now, lots of different files being triggered off at the same time. They can be routed in different ways. We've got 2 columns sending MIDI out, one to control video, one to turn PDF pages, and the rest controlling the sound that you hear. Some going to front of house, and some will be routed back into our in-ears. I hope that helps. Any questions, as always, get in touch. Be delighted to help you out in any way that I can. And I hope that just does something to inspire you to kind of get a bit more creative in the way that we use our sung worship times in church. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.